Hello and welcome to Mystic Tulip Art. This is Betty, and today I'm going to show you how I made this canvas using doodling and acrylic paints. Alright, so we'll get started. This is a traditional canvas. It's an 8x8 by 1/2 inch on the sides, and I'm taking my paints and I've got a brush on the side there with a little bit of water on it, and I'm adding a little bit more. I'm just going to be adding several different layers of color here to get started. So first one's kind of a turquoise. This one is, more of a green color. I'm trying to remember these names and I don't recall. This is a Liquitex color. And the brush I'm using is just a chip brush that I actually trimmed back a bit with my scissors. So it's a bit of a stiff brush. I'm going to dry it a little bit just so that when I add my next color, which is going to be yellow, I didn't want it to run so much. I wanted to have it stand out on its own. All right, and just about done. I'm going to set this aside and let it dry, and then I'll be coming back to it. Alright, so we're back. This is a pile of my doodlings. I've been posting doodlings on my Facebook page, Mystic Tulip Mixed Media, and one person had asked me, what do you do with all those? Well, actually I've been sticking them in a drawer, not really knowing what I was going to do with them until just about a week or so ago I started taking my doodles and putting them on canvas and adding color around them. So I was glad I saved all those because I use them as a reference. And I did some more recently as well. So good tool to have so I can easily go back and say, what type of images do I want to use, and not have to think about it as I'm trying to create. So I'm using some of those up there as up in that upper corner there. You can see a few of my doodles. And I'm just starting to put them down. I'm using a Uniball pen. This Uniball pen is actually not waterproof, so some of it will smudge off as I add the acrylics, and I'm okay with that because I'm going to be using a Sharpie poster pen at the very end to make my black marks and my white marks. So here I'm just trying to look at my doodles and figure out where do I want to put them and what is it that I want to put down. I usually have a focal point, so my flower in the middle being the focal point, and then adding other flowers and elements around it. So that pretty much covers up the front of the page. I don't like to overcrowd it, but enough room to add a lot of color around it. And then I like to do the sides also. The deeper the sides, the better. I like the 1.5 inch, but on these particular canvases, they were only 1/2 inch size, which is okay. It still allows me to do some doodling. I'm trying to think of what to put at the top. My doodling on the sides is a little bit limited because I'm trying to do something that's going to fit within that space that I can easily doodle. Alright, so we're going right into adding color. And I don't do a whole lot of blending of colors. You'll see me do a little bit. I might add white to a color, but usually I just take it out of the tube or the bottle and apply it. And I'm using my little spray, my spritzer there, and adding some water and using a well-used paper towel. I seem to not throw them out until they're so crusted that I can't use them anymore. So I'm using a paper towel and I'm pressing down, and then I'm moving that to other areas so that I get bits and pieces of that red on top of other areas. And that just helps build up some color. You'll see me doing that a lot more as we go along. When I'm doing this, I usually try to balance out my colors. So you can see on the cover, I've got on the front there, I've got red in 3 different places. Now I've got the pink in 2 places so far, and I'm probably going to put it in 1 more place. Sometimes I'll just do in 2 different places, but other times I will try to shoot for 3 places just so that I can move around the canvas. And then I always remember to put paint on the sides as well. Alright, so there I did pink only in 2 places, but it's balanced out in the upper corner and the lower corner. And then on my flower, I'm adding a base coat of white so that colors that I put on top of it are really going to pop a lot more than if I was just to put, let's say, a yellow color right on top of the green that's underneath already. It just wouldn't pop as much. So I'll, in some areas, I will start off with a white base coat. Now I'm adding white here, but what I actually end up doing in the end is white is the primary color for that area. And again, I like to have white as my part of my final colors because again, it draws the color, the eye around the canvas. When I do this, I'm not super careful. If I go over the line or, you know, I don't cover it entirely, that's okay. It's kind of part of the look that I like to accomplish. So here I'm spritzing and then I'm pressing down with my paper towel to pick up color. Doing the same on the sides there. So I'll just keep adding layers of color on the sides until I'm happy with what the final color is going to be. So this video is speeded up at 4 times the rate. So the total video is about 27 minutes. So it took me a couple hours to get this small canvas done. So notice how I'm pressing down the red and then I'm pressing it over into the upper left-hand corner so that I can add bits of red to that section. In this lower corner, you're going to say, well, I already did that. True, but I'm doing it again. I've got a different color of red and just kind of deepening that color there. I always like to add hearts so you can see those on the side and my circles. So going over the pink that I had put down originally and then spritzing and picking that up so that some of that pink is showing through. So back to white, and again doing the same thing here where I want the leaf and the stem to really stand out, and so I'm putting down the white paint so that I have a background to work with. And this color here is a dark, I think it may actually be Payne's Gray, which is a very dark blue color. Here I added a little bit of white to that Payne's Gray just to have some lighter color. So my camera had shut off and then I came back. I've been having problems with my camera. It's actually just a regular camera that I'm using the video option on it. So on my wish list for the holidays this year, for Christmas, I would love to get a video recorder that's not a camera. So a couple of times during this recording, luckily I heard it shut off, so I was able to stop pretty quickly and recharge the battery and then start again. Here we came back again because I think I had it had shut off again. I try not to think too much about where I'm adding color, other than trying to balance the color. Otherwise, I think it would take twice as long to put this together when you're thinking too much about, oh, what color should this be and what color should that be. A little bit off camera here because I'm zoomed in so much, didn't realize when I was working the sides that you couldn't really see what I was doing. But again, I'm just adding a little bit of color on each of the sides. So here I took this darker purple color and I've added some white to create kind of a lighter purple color. That's about the extent of my blending of colors. So again, spritzing it and then moving that color around to different parts of the canvas so that those specks of color show through. And you'll see me just go back over, even though I put down one color, especially those at the very top right corner, I've added several layers of red. It just kind of deepens that color there. Oh, I know why I'm off camera here, because my business phone rang and I have to answer the business phone, so I had to take that call real quick, and I forgot to turn off the camera when I did that. So as you can see, this is probably the most time-consuming part of this entire process, is putting down all the colors and the layers of colors, trying to figure out which colors to put down. There was a time in my life that I used to think only certain colors could go together, and then I realized, you know, all these colors work together. You don't have to limit yourself to certain colors, or thinking that, you know, only two colors can go together. If you look at nature, you can see all these fabulous colors and they all look beautiful together. All right, we're getting close to finishing up. I'm going to let this dry and come right back. So I decided I didn't like the yellow petals on my main flower, so I'm coming in with pink instead. And it often helps to leave something overnight, come back to it, or take a picture and come back to it and see what it's missing or see what you'd like to add. A little more of the red. I'm just picking up some of that color, excuse me, so you can see through the other layers. All right, just about done. We're back again. I still don't like the pink up there. So let's add a different color. So I'm going more with a purplish color. And blotting that so that the pink color can come through a bit. Another layer on the leaves. All right, just about done. I still don't like the petals. I'm going back to the pink. I think the white, would have looked best, is just having it stand out with the white. But we're going to move on. So I've got my Sharpie poster pens, excuse me, and these are the extra fine Sharpie poster pens. They are the water-based ones, and I really like working with them. They dry pretty quickly, but I'm still careful not to let my hand touch the area that I just put down color. So you'll see as I move around here that I'm trying to avoid certain areas until I know that they're dry. And I'm outlining just about everything. Lots of outlining is how I start. And I usually outline twice. And the reason I do that is when you outline once, it looks like you're trying to do it perfectly and it doesn't look perfect. And here I'm wiping it up because my line went way too far out. And that's the nice thing about these Sharpie poster pens is just take a little bit of water or baby wipe and wipe it up right away and you'll be fine. But anyway, going back to the lines. So I learned from Kate Crane, who is a mixed media artist from England, that if you outline twice, then it purposely looks like you are not trying to do it perfectly well. It kind of gives it more of a whimsical look. So I tend to outline everything twice. So I'm on the sides here. I think those are the hearts that I'm outlining there. And then go back to the front. And I'm really holding this poster paint pen pretty loosely, and I am moving pretty quickly. I know you could tell I'm moving really fast because this is speeded up at 4 times the rate, but I'm still moving pretty quickly. I'm trying not to overthink it, and I'm trying not to make my lines perfect. I want them squiggly and not inside the lines or following the line exactly. Now I'm starting to add some more just different doodles around the page with my white pen. And again, being careful that I don't smear anything that I had put down. waiting for certain areas to dry first. So I'm just going back and forth between the two pens now as I look around trying to figure out what to do. And I do reference some of my previous doodles just to remember things that I've done in the past that I liked. And this part of it goes fairly quickly. Again, I try to move fairly fast so that I'm not doing these too slowly. Again, I'm wiping up what I messed up there. And as I'm doing these doodles, actually I'm going to come back to it. You'll see I'll turn off the camera and come back. Sometimes it helps to do that, or take a picture and walk away for a little bit and look at it with fresh eyes, and you'll see what you think you might still need to do. That one I didn't like what I did, so I wiped it immediately, and I'll let that dry before I come back to it. So I'm putting little lines between my two lines that I made for each one of these. So I'm just doing little tiny lines in between, and you'll see that in some of the close-up shots that I show you at the end. So with the white pen, I'm going over a lot of the areas that I already did with black pen, but not all of them. I want some of them to stand out as they are. I'm thinking I'm done, but actually I'm going to come back and finish that little scroll and add some more. I like now just adding some white that without adding any black, so just the white this time. All right, my camera shut off, and at the top you can see I added some hearts that I missed because I didn't realize my camera stopped recording. So now we're pretty close to being done. I'm going to go over a few lines of the white that I did as single lines before, and now I'm going to double them up. I'm kind of hovering with my pen, trying to figure out what else I could add. And I think that's pretty much it. So I've got my titanium white and black acrylic fluid, and what I'm doing is I just added it with some water, and I am now adding splatters onto the sides, to the front of it, and I'm starting with white. There, you can kind of see me doing that. There we go. All right, so adding that all over. I'm going to dry this because when I add black, I don't want it to drip into the white and create a gray color. So I dry it first, and now I'm going to do black, add some water to that, and you'll start seeing black splatters. And I really like finishing it off with this. It just adds so much interest to the background. I especially like having the black over the white areas. Really, it pops quite a bit. All right, doing the sides as well. The surface that I work on is 4mm plastic that I bought at the hardware store that I just cut up and taped down, and that's where I put all my acrylic paints. And just let that dry, and then I just keep piling up paints on top of it. Works great for a surface. I'm using my baby wipe just to pick up a few spots where I think the drops were too thick. All right, so here's some close-ups. There'll be some more close-ups at the end that are still shots. But you can see all the splatter really adds so much texture to the canvas. All right, so there we have it. Here's some close-ups. And some side views. I really like finishing off the sides to complement everything else in terms of the colors and design. This is a top view, and over to the left, and the bottom, and I've got a few more close-up shots. I like the way the white leaves really stand out without adding any black to them or adding acrylic paint colors to them. All right, I've got one more close-up for you. Thank you so much for watching today. If you like what you saw, please subscribe to my channel. Have a fabulous, colorful day.